بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
قل هو الله أحد.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My brothers and sisters, welcome to another episode of Only Allah, where we talk about what it means to truly worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alone and how that should impact us as it relates to our daily worship, especially in the month of Ramadan, but even beyond that. And also, what are some of the things that can nullify what it means to only worship and glorify Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and different forms of shirk, if you will, that we ought to avoid. Today I want to talk to you about something that is quite common, and that is when people are swearing an oath that they invoke other than Allah's name. Now, this is not something new. During the time of the Prophet ﷺ, it was quite common for people to say, well, Kaaba, by the Kaaba. Oh, by the Kaaba, I did not do this. Or they would say, by my father, and they would swear by their fathers because they greatly respected their fathers. Now, when the Prophet ﷺ came with the call towards Tawheed and La ilaha illallah, none has the right to be worshipped except Allah alone, that included that the one that we swear by as human beings, as Muslims, when we want to make an oath, when we want to make a point, when we want to claim that we are truthful, the one whose name we use is the one who we see above all else, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So that meant a prohibition of swearing by anyone other than Allah, and that if you do that, you are equating them with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which is a form of shirk. Now, this happened to the great companion Umar al-Khattab radiallahu anhu. He one time said, wa abi, by my father, which is a common statement actually. And then he said, as I said this, I heard from far someone calling towards me, saying, don't do this. لا تحلفوا بآبائكم لا تحلفوا بآبائكم. Do not make oaths with your fathers. Do not swear by your fathers. Do not swear by your fathers. He said, I looked and it was the Prophet of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the Prophet ﷺ became so worried, so bothered by this statement, by my father. Why not say by Allah? By Allah. Wallahi. That's what you meant to be saying. Although generally speaking, it is frowned upon to swear and make oaths like this. But if you are going to do it, if you want to convince someone that you truly are a truthful person, that you're not lying, and you want to invoke that which you find the most there, the greatest, then you should invoke Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's name and say, by Allah, by the one who created me, by my Lord, by the Lord of the Kaaba, Allah alone. That's what you're meant to be doing. Not only that, but you're meant to be, again, find it abhorrent that one would swear by other than Allah. And this has become such a common thing, which is quite sad, because as this was a practice that was done by the Arabs in the time of the Prophet ﷺ, then the Prophet heavily warned against it. He said, لا تحلفوا بآبائكم. He said, من كان حالفا بالله. If there is anyone that's going to swear by فليحلف بالله, let him swear only by Allah. من كان حالفا, whoever is going to swear, فليحلف بالله, let him only swear by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this tells you something. Again, we can claim all day we believe in La ilaha illallah, we worship Allah alone, Allah is the dearest to us, Allah is the closest to us, Allah is the greatest one. We can say that, but does it manifest in your life? Do you still say on my mom's life? Do you still say on my children? Now, think about the earlier sessions that we had where we spoke about how dangerous, how heinous shirk is, that you don't want to ever associate partners with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then think about the fact that many people, maybe yourself, sometimes a slip of the tongue, are saying this, and how you should cut that behavior out completely. Only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is worthy of when you're making an oath. Say wallahi, say by Allah. This would be a true manifestation of Tawheed. Not only that, that you start hating the practice of people using other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is a true manifestation of Tawheed. And it all depends on how you feel about it, because that matters. That matters. No, I can never use my tongue and my mouth to say by and then say my mom or my children or on my own life or anything. Not even the Prophet. Not even the Prophet, my brothers and sisters. Only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that's why we can only make oaths with Allah's name. Barakallahu feekum. هذا وآخر دعوانا الحمد لله رب العالمين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
قل هو الله أحد.